Hello, I am Anshul from GoFodu.com, and in this video we'll talk about even odd functions and composite functions. So function y is equal to f of x is even if f of minus x is equal to f of x for all x belonging to domain of the function. Okay, so we can say this function f consumes the minus sign without any side effect. So if there is no change in function's value on putting minus x in place of x, the function is even. Okay, for example, we have y is equal to mod x, y is equal to x square, y is equal to cos x. These are examples of even functions. Okay, take y is equal to x square. F of minus x will be minus x whole square, which will be equal to x square, that is f of x. So f of minus x is equal to f of x. This is an even function. Okay, looking at these graphs, we can say even functions are symmetric about y-axis, symmetric about this y-axis. If we treat this y-axis as a mirror, okay, if we treat this as a mirror, then the graph in the right is getting reflected in the left. Okay, here also, if this is a mirror, then graph in right is getting reflected in the left. Here as well, graph in right is getting reflected in the left. This will continue like this. Okay, the graph in right is getting reflected in the left. So this is the property of graph of an even function. The graph is symmetrical about the y-axis. Okay, next is odd function. For odd function, a function f of y is equal to f of x is odd if f of minus x is equal to minus of f of x for all x belonging to domain of the function. So basically this function f, when it throws out the minus sign, then it is an odd function. If we put minus x in place of x, the minus sign comes outside the function. F of minus x is equal to minus of f of x. For example, y is equal to x, y is equal to x cube, y is equal to sine of x. These are all odd functions. Take y is equal to x cube. F of minus x will be minus of x whole cube. That would be minus of x cube. That is minus of f of x. So f of minus x is equal to minus of f of x. This is an odd function. Okay, all these graphs are symmetrical about origin. Symmetrical about origin means the graph remains unchanged when reflected across the x-axis and then the y-axis. So when they are reflected across both the x-axis and y-axis, the graph remains unchanged. For example, if this graph is reflected across x-axis, then we'll get something like this, passing through origin. Okay, and this line, if reflected across this y-axis, then again we'll get this same original graph, same original line. So this graph remains unchanged when reflected across x-axis and then y-axis, both. Also, a function can be neither even nor odd. A function can be neither even nor odd, such as fx is equal to x plus 3. This is neither even nor odd, or e to the power x. Okay, so a function can be neither even nor odd as well. Next, there are a few properties of even and odd functions. What would be a even function plus an even function? What would that be? Will the final result be even or odd? Okay, even function plus even function. Will the final result be even or odd? To quickly get the answers, we can assume our even function to be x square and odd function to be x cube. Even plus even will be even only. In fact, even minus even is also even function only. Any linear combination of an even function is even only. Odd plus odd is odd only. Odd minus odd is also odd. Any linear combination of odd function is odd only. Okay. Sum of an even and odd function is neither even nor odd. Odd function multiplied by even function, x square into x cube is x to the power 5. This will be odd only. Odd function multiplied by odd function will be even. Odd into odd will be even. Okay. Odd divided by even will be odd only. Even divided by even will be even only. Next important point is that any function can be uniquely expressed. Any function y is equal to f of x can be expressed uniquely as the sum of an even and odd function like this. This f of x plus f of minus x is even, and f of x minus f of minus x will be odd. Okay. So we can express any function as sum of an even function plus odd function like this. Let's express f of x is equal to 1 upon x minus 1 as sum of an even and odd function. So this is our format. Let's put the value of fx 1 upon 2, 1 upon x minus 1 plus f of minus x would be 1 upon, put minus x in place of x, minus x minus 1 plus 1 by 2, f of x is 1 upon x minus 1 minus f of minus x would be 1 upon minus x minus 1. Okay, on simplifying this, we will get 1 upon x square minus 1. This whole will get simplified to this 1 upon x square minus 1 plus x upon x square minus 1. So this is an even function and this here is an odd function. Like this, we can express 1 upon x minus 1 as sum of an even and odd function. Next, we have periodic functions. Periodic functions. It repeats its value in regular periods. Many trigonometric functions are periodic function. For example, sin x, cos of x, and tan of x, and so on. All these are periodic function. Now look at this graph of y is equal to sin of x. After 2 pi, the same curve will get repeated again. Okay, this point here is 4 pi. So this same curve is getting repeated again after 2 pi. Similarly, in the left also, the same curve will repeat again. Now sin of pi by 2 is what? Sin of pi by 2 is 1. Okay, if we move 2 pi towards the right, then sin of pi by 2 plus 2 pi, this point will again give 1 as the y value. Okay, so this 2 pi interval after which the values will repeat is called period. Period of sine function is 2 pi, and in general we can write f of x plus p is equal to f of x and p is not equal to 0. If f of x plus p is equal to f of x, then p is called period of function f. Period of function f of x. Okay, and for sine function, period is of 2 pi. Any integral multiple of p will also be a period of function, but p is the fundamental period. And there is one more point to be made here. If f of x is a periodic function with period p, then k times f of x plus k, and f of x plus minus k all will have period p. Okay, where k is a constant, and f of kx or f of kx plus p, kx minus p, where k is greater than 0, will have a period of p upon k. Okay, this is something that you can keep in mind. Next, we have composite functions. Composite function simply means applying one function to the result of another. It is basically function of function. So here we have a diagram of two functions, f and g. Function g is applied to the result of f, and we have to find these values. First, tell me what kind of functions are f and g. F is neither injective nor surjective, and g is a bijective function. Now g of f of c. F of c is what? f of c is 6. Okay, now g of c will be, this f of c is 6, so g of 6 will be dollar sign. So g of f of c is dollar sign. G of f of s is what? F of s is 6 again. F of s is 6. G of 6 will be dollar sign again. G of f of d is 5 and g of 5 is at the rate. So g of f of d is at the rate sign. G of f of u is 1 and g of 1 is star mark. So star symbol will be g of f of u. G of f of u will be star sign. Now from the above obtained values, we can write range of g of f as star, at the rate and dollar sign, because these are the values that we have obtained. We found g of f of all these values, and this hash symbol we cannot obtain, so it will not be there in the range of g of f. Whereas range of g is all these values. Range of g is all these values. We can obtain all these values on putting these values in function g. So range of g will be a star, at the rate, dollar symbol and hash symbol. Okay. So range of composite function need not be same as range of its constituent functions. Now let's solve a few questions. F of x is equal to x plus 1. We have to find f of x square plus 2. Let's say we have to find f of 1. So we'll put 1 in place of x here, and in right hand side as well we will put 1 in place of x. So f of 1 will come out as 1 plus 1, that is 2. If we had to find f of 2, we'll put 2 in place of x, and here also in right hand side we'll put 2 in place of x, and we'll get 2 plus 1, 3. Now we have to find f of x square plus 2. So we'll put x square plus 2 in place of x, and this will come out to be, in place of x we'll put x square plus 2 plus 1 plus 1. This is x square plus 3. Next question. F of x is x plus 1, g of x is x square plus 2. We have to find f of g of 3 and g of f of 3. For f of g of 3, we'll start with the innermost bracket, g of 3. Okay, g of 3. For g of 3, we'll put 3 in place of x. G of 3 will be 3 square plus 2, that is 11. And for f of g of 3 is 11. Now we have to find f of 11. For f of 11, we will put 11 in place of x, and in right hand side we'll get 11 plus 1, that is 12. So f of g of 3 is 12. Next we have g of f of 3. We'll start with the innermost bracket. F of 3 is, we'll put 3 in place of x, 3 plus 1 is 4. F of 3 is 4, and g of f of 3, that means g of 4. G of 4 will be 4 square plus 2, 16 plus 2, 18. So g of f of 3 is 18. As f of g of 3 is not equal to g of f of 3, we can say composition of functions is not commutative. Okay. Next example in composite function is from CAT 2017. F of x is given to us, g of x is given to us, and we have to find value of g of f of 3. Again, we'll start with the most basic function and the innermost bracket. F of 3. F of 3 is what? Put 3 in place of x. 5 into 3 plus 2 upon 3 into 3 minus 5. This is 17 upon 4. So f of 3 is 17 upon 4. Now we have to find f of 3. F of 3 is 17 upon 4. That means we have to find f of 17 upon 4. F of 17 upon 4 is what? 5 into 17 upon 4 plus 2 upon 3 into 17 upon 4 minus 5. This will give 93 upon 4 upon 31 upon 4, and it will give 3. So f of 3 is 3. Now we have to find g of 3. G of 3 is what? Put 3 in place of x. 3 square minus 2 into 3 minus 1. 3 square minus 6 minus 1 is 2. This is the final answer. Here there is one more important point. If f of x is of the format ax plus b upon cx plus d, like here we had ax plus b upon cx plus d format, and if d is equal to minus a, then f of x will be equal to x only. This is something to remember, something to keep in mind. If f of x is of this format, ax plus b upon cx plus d, and d is equal to minus a, then f of x will be x only. Like here, we had a is 5 and d is minus 5, d is equal to minus a. So f of 3 came out to be 3 only. Now solve these questions involving even, odd as well as composite functions. F is even function, g is odd function, and we have to comment if f of g will be even or odd. So to check if a function is even or odd, we put minus x in place of x, and we see if this is equal to f of g of x or minus of f of g of x, and then only we can say if this function is even or odd. So this is equal to f of g of minus x. Okay, g is an odd function, that means g will give out this minus sign, g will not consume this minus sign, g will give it out. So f of minus of g of x. Okay, and f is an even function, that means this minus sign will have no effect on this function f. So this will be equal to f of g of x. So f of g of minus x is equal to f of g of x, that means f of g is even function. Okay, again f is odd, g is even. Let's check out f of g of minus x. That will be f of g of minus x. As g is even, g of minus x will be equal to g of x only. So this will be equal to f of g of x only. So again f of g is even. Now here f is odd and g is also odd. F of g of minus x, as g is odd, this will give minus of g of x. F of minus of g of x, as f is also odd, this minus sign will come outside the f function and we'll get minus of f of g of x. F of g of minus x is equal to minus of f of g of x, that means f of g is odd. Okay, this was all about even and odd functions, periodic functions and composite functions. What remains are iterative functions, inverse functions and greatest integer functions, which we will cover in the upcoming videos. Thank you.